even if you don't get anything from this video, this one thing I want to say, just keep it in mind. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. From the title of the video, it's literally overdue. I'm sorry it took me this long to finally make a part 2 of my how I moved to Canada video, because I just kind of felt like the content wasn't people's cup of tea, so I might have slacked a little bit. But since I've seen that you guys actually want to know, and you still have like some questions about like the process, I will do my best to see how I can film in accordance to your needs, okay, as much as I know, because policies are changing. So I don't want to come up here and be like an immigration guru. Like, no, I only knew how to do my process and I did my research, but I'll just do my best to share what I can with you guys to maybe help you get started on your journey. And yeah, so enough of that yapping, let's just get right into this video. So in my previous video about how I moved to Canada, I think the last point I shared was how I got my invitation to the last point I shared was that, okay, I had all my documents and that it was finally time for me to create my express entry profile. So before creating my profile, obviously, like I always say, I did my research. Like, I joined a Telegram group of like, people that have gone through the process. I made sure I asked a lot of questions, just because I've heard so many scary stories of people that made mistakes on their profile and it ended up really affecting them in the long run. To create an express entry profile, obviously you need your WES evaluation, and in this case it could be WES, it could be ICES, it could be IQAS, okay, depending on your career basically. So I used WES. My WES evaluation came out. I had written my IELTS. I got a total of 8 for my IELTS, and what else, then my work experience, which was like a little bit over 3 years. So yeah, I had all those information and I started creating my express entry profile. Honestly, it looks so easy to do, but you have to be so careful because you can make mistakes like this. So you just have to be very careful, be very mindful of everything that you're putting down on your profile, because you don't want to go through the stress of like having to cancel, or like you get an ITA, that's ITA is invitation to apply, you get an ITA and then you find yourself like, oh, you actually made a mistake, or you don't have a document. You don't even want any mess up, because that ITA is like gold. So once it comes, you want it to be perfect, you want everything to be in place for you to submit your application. Now I'm going ahead, let me come back. So basically, creating your profile is just basically sharing personal information about yourself, like your name, your occupation, you're sharing your IELTS results, you're sharing your WES evaluation, you're talking about your family, your nuclear family, that's basically you, and not really your parents and siblings, but there is a place where you have to mention them. But where you are married, or where you are married, where you have kids, definitely you have to fill more personal information about your own personal family. And there is something I'm going to say now that you guys, even if you don't get anything from this video, this one thing I want to say, just keep it in mind. Okay, here it is. When you're creating your express entry profile and then you are asked if you have ever been denied, I think they come in 2 ways. If you have ever been denied entry into Canada, or I don't know if it's Canada and US now, I can't remember, but I know that Canada is there. Like, if you've ever been denied entry into Canada, or if you've ever been refused something with the IRCC. Now IRCC is the immigration people of Canada, right? So yeah, if you've ever been refused like anything, or if you've basically ever had anything to do with IRCC, like an application or whatever, now they'll put yes and no. You guys, I'm begging you, if you know because this thing I'm telling you, people have lost the opportunity to get PR. People have been banned for misrepresentation. So it's so serious, like I'm not even kidding. Okay, I didn't know, I actually made the mistake. So now when you're asked like, oh, have you been refused entry, or have you basically kind of have any relationship with like IRCC, you guys, if you know that you have, number one, applied for student visa or visiting visa or refugee claim, if you know you've applied for anything, work permit, whatever it is, with the IRCC, you guys, please, even if you were refused, don't say, oh, I was refused then, so even if you were refused, please and please say yes. Say yes. As long as you have submitted an application to IRCC, even if it was refused, please say yes. Now for me, my family and I, we applied for visiting visa some years back and we were refused. So in my head, I'm like, I've never had anything to do with IRCC, like, like I don't need to say yes, right? I said no. But that is why it's so important to join all these like groups, not just any random group that will be scamming you of your money. No, there's actually one that I feel like a lot of people are on, which is on Telegram. And I went to ask the question and they were like, please say yes. Okay, yes is the correct answer, as long as you have submitted an application to IRCC. Okay, so I think when you say yes, they're going to give you a text box to kind of explain what you mean, like what happened and all of that. See, it doesn't matter, okay? Being refused one time or several times doesn't mean that your PR application is going to be cancelled. Just be honest. Like, the thing is, some people, it's not like they're trying to lie or to play smart with the IRCC. They just didn't know. So that's why I am here now, because I care about you guys, to tell you that if you have applied to IRCC at one point in your life, ask your parents, even when you were a child, like, please ask them. Just be sure, okay, of the information and put the correct response. But if you have never applied to IRCC or whatever, that's fine. So that's what I was saying. It comes in a text box, okay, when they're like, okay, explain what you mean, like what kind of relationship have you had with IRCC. So for me, I explained it there that, my parents and I, my family and I applied for visiting visa. We were refused because they thought we were not going to come back. I put it there, okay. Then the second one was now like, have I ever been denied entry? Trust me, I don't want any confusion. So I put it there. I'm like, while I have been denied a visa into the country, I have never been denied entry, which is true, because they are going to check, they are going to do the the thing is, I don't know if US is involved in this question, but just even if the US is involved in the question, as long as you know that you have applied to the US before and you were refused for one reason or the other, please just put it there. No need to lie, no need to anything. It's not going to affect your application. Just be honest, because you don't want to mess up your application, okay? That point literally took me like 5 minutes to explain, because it is so important. So yeah, I filled my express entry application. Okay, another thing you need to keep in mind is you want to make sure that the NOC, okay, that you are picking is actually correct. Make sure that the NOC you are picking, that your job title is at least, you guys, let me even say at least 85% in line with the requirements on the IRCC website, because you don't want a situation whereby you pick one NOC and then your employer gives you your reference letter and it's not aligning, and then they're like, sorry, but your NOC doesn't align with your job duties from what you are claiming points for. You don't want that. So make sure you do your research and ensure that your job duties, the one you're using to claim points, okay, is in line with the NOC that you are picking for your express entry. Okay. The next thing I did after filling my express entry profile was I used about a week. I'm not even kidding, you guys. I used about a week to ensure that everything I filled was on point. Because there's something about, I don't know, the human brain, the eyes, I don't know. You would think you wrote something, you would think you wrote the right thing, but when you now go back and look at it, you're like seeing that, wait though, I made mistake. You're like, how did I make mistake? Like, I knew what I was writing, right? So that is why it's so important for you to cross-check every single thing that you are filling on your express entry profile. Like, I can't emphasize this enough, you guys. This is so important, like, because it can make or break your application. Make sure you're filling the correct thing. Your family size, your family information, all your siblings. Like, fill every single thing that you feel like they need to know about yourself. Like, basically any question that they ask you, just answer to the best of your knowledge, okay? And that trick I will give you guys is that for everything I filled out, number one, I wrote all my answers down. Number two, I took screenshots. Because as in, you can forget some kind of information. So everything I filled, I took a screenshot, like you guys, like 15 screenshots I was just taking, just so that in the future, if maybe I have to make reference to what I filled in my profile, I would be able to like have it on my phone. Even till now, I still have it on my phone. Like, I'm not even kidding. So yeah, like, you have just take screenshots, take notes of everything that you feel, just because you don't want to make mistakes later. Okay, so another thing I did was I gave every member of my family. I called my mom. She checked my profile, looked at all the information. Everything was on point. Showed my dad, showed my siblings. I literally showed everybody in my house. And then I went through it like for another like 5 times, just because I wanted to be sure that everything was on point. Okay, so when everything was on point, of course, you know, as a lover of Jesus, okay, I handed it over to him. I'm like, God, though, this is it. I'm submitting my profile. Take control. Take absolute control. So yeah, I did that and I clicked on submit. It's time to wait. It's time to wait. It's time to wait. One thing I would say, you guys, do not put your life on hold because of express entry. Okay, the moment you submit your profile, please and please live your life, do your courses, do your business, go out, enjoy yourself, live your life. Because if you want to put your life on hold because you're waiting for IRCC to respond to your application or give you idea, just going to miss out. Like, time is just going to pass you by and you'll just be getting depressed. Don't just put your life on hold for IRCC. Okay, you submitted your application, put it in prayer, fire prayer every day. You know, just live your life, develop yourself, and manifest that, okay, this thing is going to work out. Okay, so if it works out, what should I be doing? You can take a course, you can research about the country, you can decide to research on a job you want to do. Just live your life. That's my point. Okay, so yeah, I submitted, and yeah, I think after 1 year I still didn't get invitation to apply. But here is something amazing that happened for me. Okay, I was working this was before category based draws started. Okay, I was working. My initial experience was 3 years, more in like admin, and then I started working for like a kind of like a transportation company. It wasn't up to like it wasn't even up to, was it 5 or 6 months yet? And at the end of the day, I was like, I didn't even intend to use it on my profile. I did not intend to use it on my profile. So it was so crazy. At the end of that year, I cannot remember the years right now, I'm sorry, but at the end of that year, I saw that they did a draw for transportation, and I looked at the NOCs. I'm like, what? Like, literally my role is there, like my job title is there, and they did a draw, and that was the end of that year. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed this draw, and the scores were very low. Okay, with my everything that I did, my extra certificates, my RES, my IELTS, everything, my job experience, which was like a little bit over 3 years, I think my score was 471. So obviously, and the scores were going up, and I'm like, god, is this thing going to happen? Is this thing going to happen? Yeah, so like when I saw that, I was so sad. So at the end of the day, then when my work experience finally clocked 6 months, because in category based draw you need at least 6 months, I now added that work experience on my profile. And you guys, officially, I can't remember the date, but I know it was March. I know it was March. I don't know if it was March 13th or something, but March came and I was just lying down in bed, like minding my business. And then, because when you see, like, bro, I just saw that notification, because when you submit your profile and you're waiting, you hardly really get any like notification from IRCC. I was just feeling somehow like happy, praising God and all of that. And I was lying and I just got a notification on my phone. It was like, do not respond. I think that was a Wednesday, because the trolls were no longer consistent. They were doing it on random days. I was like, wait, what happened? What happened? I now opened my phone. Like, you guys, my heart was like about to come out of my mouth, like. And I got ICA. My family, they were in the sitting room. Me, I was just in the room lying down, and I got ITA. I did not tell them. I opened it first. I looked at it. I saw, you've been invited to apply. I showed my sister that was by my side. I was like, wait, am I seeing well? And she was like, what does this mean? Like, it says you've been invited to apply. I was like, yeah. It's funny thing, because I imagined in my head how I'll be jumping and shouting, but I couldn't even jump and shout. I was just like in like shock, you know. And I'm like, you guys, I've gotten ITE, I've gotten ITE. It was a very amazing feeling, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, I went to the sitting room, I showed my parents, I showed my siblings, and you guys, because it was taking so long, and it was almost like, not if I was lying, but it was almost like they didn't really believe what I was chasing, right? So when this actually happened, they were like, what does it mean? What does it mean? I explained to them, they were like, everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. I was thanking God, but then the feelings that washed over me was now kind of sad, because I'm like, okay, this is where it gets real. Okay, you need money, like money, to actually start this process. And now I feel like this video is getting too long. I'm going to cut it short and make this a part 2. And while next week is going to be busy for me, I'm going to do my best to film the part 3, which should just be the final one of this series of like how I moved to Canada as a permanent resident. Okay, so if you guys want to see more stuff like this, let me know in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I would say any information you want to get it from the IRCC website. Ask ChatGPT to help you and break it down to understandable terms. I just don't want you guys to make mistake. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, remember to subscribe, you guys. Let's grow our little community, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.